Welcome, everybody, to another Dirty Sports Quickie. I am Joe Praino of the Dirty Sports Podcast, here with my co-host, Andy Ruther. And we're here to talk about a little bit more in depth, something that is now an ongoing discussion in the dirty sports realm. It started when former guest of the show, Sean Merriman, was tweeting clips from the 2004 draft, Eli Manning getting traded from the Chargers to the Giants, setting off Chargers fans. Then ESPN and the NFL themselves putting out a tweet asking who won the Eli Manning versus Phillip Rivers trade, which we discussed on our show, and basically said anybody who thought the Chargers won is a dumb person.
Yes.
Is a dumb. And then you followed that up with a post on the Dirty Sports Instagram comparing head-to-head the Eli Manning career stats versus the Phillip Rivers career stats, playoffs and regular season. And then you, Andy Ruther, not myself, you, Eli Manning, I don't want to say hater, but maybe Eli Manning
critic.
Truther.
Eli Manning critic.
And not me, Eli Manning slurper, spent days basically calling people in that comment section flat earthers and dum-dums and morons, because people are still arguing that Phillip Rivers and the San Diego Chargers won that trade, which to me, again, as a guy who has worn the New York Giants Super Bowl ring, cut to that picture, Nick D'Alessandro, blatantly obvious that the New York Giants and Eli Manning won that trade. And a lot of the people have come in and their arguments are, look at how much better Rivers has been throughout his career. The Giants had these defenses. The Giants had these better teams, which is patently false.
It's a lie. I want to just break down the stats, which we're going to have up for you right here. Eli has thrown for 55,981 yards. Phillip Rivers, 54,656 yards. Touchdowns, Eli 360, Phillip 374. Again, very comparable. Interceptions, now Eli does have a lot more interceptions, 239 to Phillip's 178.
Yep.
Completion percentage, Phillip edges him out. However, these are very comparable. And again, Eli played an extra year and a half. But again, these are very similar stats. But I don't really care, Joe, about the regular season. They matter, but they do not matter as much to me as playoffs. Eli is 8-4 in the playoffs as a starter. Phillip is 5-6.
So a lot of times when you look at playoff records, the easiest thing to do is you look at how many losses somebody has in the playoffs, and that's essentially how many times they've gone to the playoffs. Phillip Rivers, 5-6 in the playoffs. He has 6 playoff appearances.
Correct.
And 5 playoff wins. So in one of those, he was one and done, and in other years, he was
2 one-and-dones.
Okay, 2 one-and-dones. In other years, he won games. Eli Manning, 8-4. Has he been to the playoffs 4 times? Of course not. He's been 6 times because 2 of the times he didn't take a playoff loss because, of course, they were world champions in the game of football.
Well, exactly. Let's look at these stats again. Eli's 2 Super Bowl runs alone for me make this not even an argument at all. I don't know why anybody's going to argue this. Eli, yes, has had 4 one-and-dones. He's also had 2 Super Bowl runs. In fact, here's a quick stat for you. Eli's 2 playoff Super Bowl runs against the Patriots, he has more touchdowns thrown in those 2 runs, 15
to 2 interceptions,
to Phillip Rivers' entire playoff career. Let me repeat that. Eli has more touchdown passes in his 2 playoff Super Bowl runs than Phillip Rivers has in his entire playoff career. Those are facts, people, and they're very important. So we can break this down. We can say, oh, well, did Eli have a better team? Did Eli have a better defense? Well, I did a deep dive, and I found out some things that are going to surprise everyone who said Phillip Rivers didn't have a defense.
Well, first of all, in Eli Manning's 2 Super Bowl runs, their regular season defenses were ranked 17th and 25th in points against.
Now let me get to Phillip Rivers' defenses. For everyone saying he didn't have a defense. The 2006 season, 2007 playoffs, where the Chargers went 14-2.
14-2.
That Chargers team in 2006 regular season, 2007 playoffs, had the 7th best defense as far as points allowed in the entire league.
7.
So they were a top 10 defense.
Wow.
That team also had 9 Pro Bowlers, including 5 All-Pros. That team also had MVP LaDainian Tomlinson.
You're saying the most valuable player of a game.
No, of the entire league.
So wait, Phillip Rivers had the MVP of the entire league on his team?
On his team.
And the seventh ranked defense in all football?
Yes.
Whew. And what was their record that year?
14-2.
Who did they lose to when they finally made it to the playoffs?
They lost to the Patriots after a first-round bye.
Wow. Ooh, wow.
They lost to the Patriots.
Now, they lost to the Patriots in Foxborough, tough place to play.
No, they lost to the Patriots in San Diego.
Wow.
Phillip Rivers went 14 out of 32.
That's under 50% if you're not great at math.
For 230 yards passing, 0 touchdown passes, and 1 interception.
So, in a touchdown-interception ratio, he had infinite interceptions to touchdowns.
Correct.
Because it's impossible to divide by 0.
So this was his first playoff game. Now let's move on to the next year.
Okay.
The next year Chargers, who went 11-5, whose defense gave up the 5th least amount of points in all of the NFL. So this next year, they do go to Foxborough. They do play the undefeated at the time Patriots. And you're thinking, well,
the Patriots that obviously, again, went on to win all 19 games and the Super Bowl, breaking the record for undefeated teams.
No, they lost to Eli Manning and the New York Giants.
Oh, that's right. I remember that game.
So everyone's probably saying, well, they went to Foxborough. They don't expect to win that game. Well, true, while they weren't the odds-on favorite, I want to read some more stats from Phillip Rivers' line that game. I'm sorry, he was 19 of 37 for 0 touchdowns.
Also less than 50%.
Correct.
If you are poor at math.
He was 19 of 37, 211 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
Again, though, throwing a ton to keep pace with the record-breaking Patriots offense that they had to score 150 points in that game?
Well, no, they didn't. Even though that was the record-breaking Patriots offense. Once again, the Chargers defense was ranked 5th in least amount of points given up that year. They held the Patriots to 21 points. Tom Brady threw for a massive 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions.
3 picks.
So once again, it was not the defense's fault. It was the offense's fault that are losing these playoff games. Now let's fast forward to this year. The Chargers went 12-4. Now they did not win the division. They were a wild card team. Once again, top 10 defense. Phillip Rivers and the Chargers defense, this time they are the LA Chargers, gave up the 8th least amount of points.
Wow. 8th. So at least 9 spots higher than Eli's best
Correct.
Super Bowl defense.
And once again this year, they lose to the Patriots.
Look at how difficult this pass is. I mean, look at the tight window Brady fits us into. Just incredible. That's at least like 6 yards down the field.
And Phillip Rivers is now 0-3 against the Patriots, 0-3 against Belichick, 0-3 against Tom Brady.
In the playoffs.
In the playoffs.
In his 6 playoff appearances, 3 times they have been eliminated by the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick, Tom Brady.
Correct.
Eli Manning has met them in the Super Bowl twice. He's undefeated.
Correct.
The only time a team from the NFC can face a team like the Patriots from the AFC in the final game.
Correct.
And, of course, Eli Manning undefeated in Super Bowls with 2 Super Bowl MVPs.
Yes.
Deal with it, as they say in GIF land. Football is a team game.
Correct.
The offense and the defense, while not on the field at the same time, are related. If your offense doesn't do work, the 300-something pound, 275-pound defensive linemen that have to, bull rush offensive linemen all day, they tend to get tired if you don't give them a break. In this year's game against the Patriots, let's just talk about what Phillip Rivers' offenses did for Phillip Rivers' defenses. The game started out with a touchdown by New England. The Phillip Rivers offense answered in 6 plays, and it was tied 7-7. The Patriots came down and scored again. Great, 14-7. This has all the makings to be a full-on shootout. This is going to be 50-50. This game is going to go to overtime. It's going to set scoring records. No. Next possession by the Chargers. 3 plays and out for 1 yard and a punt. And of course New England scores again because no time to rest for that defense. Next possession, 7 plays for 24 yards and a punt. Next possession, 4 yards. 4 plays for 26 yards and a punt. Next possession, 3 plays for 0 yards and a punt. And now they're down 35-7. Getting into the second quarter, 3 plays, punt. Then they finally score a touchdown. Then 3 plays, punt. I mean, multiple 3 and out, 6 and out, 4 and out disaster drives where you have a great offense on the other side of the field and you're not giving your defense absolutely any time to rest up to play that great offense because you're going out there with your bolo tie and your 9 kids and you're taking a hot shit on the field because the bottom line is, let's talk facts here. It's all right here. It's all right there. Phillip Rivers is a playoff choker. He wears that bolo tie too tight. You're a choke artist.
Yeah. The facts are here. We've laid them out. Couldn't be more clear. Phillip Rivers has not had a better career than Eli Manning. That is just factually incorrect. Eli Manning has not had better teams. Eli Manning has not had, let me name some of these guys who played with Phillip Rivers. LaDainian Tomlinson.
Heard of him.
Hall of Famer.
Sure.
Antonio Gates. Hall of Famer.
Yes.
3 straight seasons with Vincent Jackson as a Pro Bowler.
Pro Bowler.
Darren Sproles.
Hall of Famer, probably.
4 straight seasons. So this argument
But
that...
to be fair, Eli Manning did have Brandon Jacobs, Derek Ward, Kevin Boss, Steve Smith, not the famous one, an undrafted Victor Cruz. Let's see, who else? David Tyree. We had the helmet catch, David Tyree.
You had Plaxico before he shot himself.
Plaxico before he shot himself, right? Who was always good for not practicing the entire week, riding on a stationary bike, catching 3 yards, 3 passes in the whole game.
So once again, the numbers don't lie. Phillip Rivers has not had a better career than Eli Manning. He's not had a better playoff career. He's not had better teams. He's not had better defenses. Those are all false bullshit. And if you believe them, you hate facts. You're a flat earther. Eli Manning had a better career than Phillip Rivers. And you know what? That's the end of the story.
And when all is said and done, 2 Super Bowl rings and 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Deal with it.
Guys, if you liked that video, subscribe to us on YouTube. Do it right now.
They're on YouTube.
Oh,
We're
that's
on
right.
YouTube right now. Smash the like button. Throw down on the like button, or up if it's over there. Or is it over there?
And leave a comment. Argue with us. We're here. We're not going anywhere. We'll respond to you. You might get some more Bill Walton over here.
I don't know where the subscribe button is, but take your finger and throw it down on the button.